Thieves are back in action, breaking open rail cars near downtown LA and stealing the merchandise inside.
Welcome. You are watching Line Screw 1. Chances are millions of you saw that train robbery in Lincoln Heights in the Los Angeles area about 5-6 days ago.
The images are startling. Thousands of empty or damaged packages lining the tracks along the Union Pacific LA Railway.
Yeah, all the garbage littered everywhere along the train tracks, all the looting of the containers on the rail system. It's not an old story. It's funny how the story made a big dent on the internet. All the major networks covered it. NBC, Fox, CBS, Reuters, and even BBC. In fact, BBC got millions of views showing the beauty and majesty of the City of Angels in its garbage glory. And the funny thing is, this isn't even a new story. This looting of these trains has been going on for months. I could find stories in the fall of this happening, and nobody seems to have noticed until it really scaled up in January, and suddenly it's a big problem. Hey, this is La La Land. You think all those neoliberals would get some volunteers together and quickly clean up that mess in one afternoon? But oh no, they rather just tweet about it and maybe send their camera crew down to film it. A funny thing is, even the Los Angeles County Sheriff was told about this back in November, and it was kind of like news to him.
We showed LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva what our cameras captured. The thieves in action, the bolt cutters in hand.
Wow, that is, this is new to me.
Obviously, he's done a great job in the last few months because it's just gotten worse. I'm pretty confident that the sheriff don't give a crap. The only thing the sheriff really cares about is his salary. You know, he's kind of one of those public servants. But we can't just blame him. It's pretty much all the elected officials in La La Land. I even noticed a German in Venice covered the story. And he's not even like a real American. He wasn't born there. But he covers Los Angeles and all its crazy things that you don't see in Germany. I've been to Germany. Germans don't tolerate that crap. But of course, my twist on the entire story isn't these train robbing and all the looting and garbage of the containers. That's interesting. But the RVers and the homeless there, that's kind of the real story. Because that's kind of what's causing all this problem. And it's the smoking elephant in the corner of the room that nobody wants to talk about. Look, I've spent a lot of time in Los Angeles. I'm kind of one of those Canadians that when I go to LA and I rent a car, I don't even need a map because I've spent so much time there. And I know the bad neighborhoods and I know the good neighborhoods. And the funny thing is, if you show me a very wealthy neighborhood, I'll show you a neighborhood that doesn't have any homeless that are visible or RVers or, urban campers. And conversely, show me a really poor neighborhood, I'll show you campers and homeless people and all sorts of debauchery. Apparently, it's very important to keep the roads and streets and the railway system nice and clean in the rich parts of Los Angeles, but not so important for the poor parts of town because nobody cares. Now, I know some of you neoliberals are going to weigh in and say, oh, you're stereotyping all poor people and homeless and they're all criminals. No, they're not. Hey, I've been to many poor countries, people that are dirt poor that aren't thieves. And they actually have communities that are safe. But apparently in Los Angeles, you can throw your morals out the ground if you happen to be a poor person and you happen to be homeless. Because I don't believe that you truly have to be a criminal and live a criminal lifestyle if you are in fact homeless. Correct me if I'm wrong. Perhaps they get the get out of jail free card if they're homeless. The commonality of all these videos I'm seeing of all this looting of these train containers is that on one side you got the RVers, urban camping. On the other side, you got a homeless encampment. Both groups homeless. Yeah. What the heck are either of them doing there? Obviously, the homeless have decided to create an urban industry for themselves by looting these containers, throwing thousands of these Amazon purchases, for example, off the side of the train, ripping them open later, and seeing what kind of goodies they can find. Now, contrary to what some people keep saying that my RV is actually a prop and that I actually live in a high-rise condo in downtown Vancouver in Yaletown, I actually do live in the RV. But if you want to keep the conspiracy going that I'm actually a wealthy person that uses the RV as a prop, good for you. Look, the point I'm trying to make is if these homeless people, either in the RVs or in the homeless camp, weren't there to see the train stopped, they in fact wouldn't be looting them. But apparently there is no moral gumption by the elected officials or law enforcement to shoo them along, keep moving, you're not welcome here. Again, I'm not saying every damn person in that homeless camp or living in these derelict old RVs are thieves and involved, but I bet you some of them are. You'd have to be an idiot to think otherwise. And since I am an RVer, and I have RV'd in the Los Angeles County, I usually pay to stay somewhere. There's not many places you actually can legally stay. But I will tell you this, if you're going to urban camp, one night and gone, move to the next place, one night and gone, you got to be invisible. You got to be like the homeless in Japan, where it's shameful to be homeless, and you darn well keep yourself clean and you keep moving because nobody thinks it's a proud moment for you to be homeless. But apparently, you're proud to be homeless, a miscreant, a vagrant, and a potential felony risk in your neighborhood. Those are celebrated traits, apparently. Now, the question I have for you guys, because I have a very smart audience out there, and you guys can put the answer to this question in the comment section. If you're an RVer and you need a place to sleep for a night or two or whatever in the city of Angels, Los Angeles, if you rolled into that little area in Lincoln Heights and you saw all that garbage and you saw all the homeless people, would you think, hey, this is a really great place for me to camp? You know, you get out of your RV, open the door, and you see, oh God, there's trash and homeless people. This is excellent. This is the place that I'm sleeping tonight because it looks fantastic. Of course you wouldn't say that. Anybody with half a lick of sense would say, I don't want to be here. Whatever's going on here, I want no part of it. Who in their right mind camps next to a homeless camp in their RV unless they like that kind of scene, you know? Maybe steal some of the goods, start a side little hustle where you can sell some of this crap on eBay that you're stealing off the train, or maybe you just gotta walk the train tracks finding some of the stuff that's just laying there and salvage that for a few bucks. I mean, seriously, how many of you people out there in YouTube land would say, that is the place I want to camp? Because I like being around these homeless people. I love being around trash. In fact, I love being in a part of America that is so dirty that it looks worse than the worst part of Calcutta, India. And that's for me, because I like that, and I respect that kind of trash. Oh, like seriously, what's wrong with these RVers parking there? There's so many places to park that you don't have to park in a crappy neighborhood where you start fighting with your neighbors that are on crack or meth or whatever problem they have. Do you really want that? About the only thing that Los Angeles County has over the city and county of San Francisco is space. LA County is huge. Hundreds and hundreds, actually thousands of square miles. And trust me, you can go take your beat up old RV and drive it out to the edge of the city and camp, and chances are you can move around and nobody's ever going to bother you. And you could probably make a mess, and hey, who's going to report it because who's going to see it? Right? You could do that, but they don't, and I'll tell you why. This is the thing that the politicians and many of these neoliberals don't like to talk about. The reason that these urban campers camp in these crappy parts of town is because, one, the elected officials don't do anything about it, and number two, law enforcement agencies get their marching orders from those neoliberals that are elected. So what the hell do? They don't care. They're getting paid to ignore, so they're going to keep ignoring. Number three, most important here. Here's the dirty secret about these miscreants that live in their RVs. Many of them have substance abuse issues, and they like to be close to their drug dealers so they can get their meth, maybe their methadone if they're on a treatment scheme of some sort. You know, replacing one drug for another, like that's really going to work well. Or, you know, get that crack. They get the crack and the cocaines and all that kind of stuff. They like to be near those services. And don't forget all those handouts that they give those people. You got to be near where the handouts are. And in spite of the billions, yes, I said billions with a B, of money that they throw at all the social services for these people in Southern California, what kind of results are they getting? Poor results, right? You as a taxpayer somewhere in Southern California, are you happy with those results? Are you happy with your tax money being spent so ineffectively? I don't think so, unless you're also smoking that funny stuff, if you know what I'm saying. And to take a chill moment here, I do know people that live in their vans, RVs, in urban centers in Southern California, and they know the rules. They do a night and they're out. They're keeping on moving and grooving. Nobody knows their business. Nobody knows they're homeless. Nobody knows anything, and they don't cause any problems. Now, what up with these Lincoln Heights RVers? Now, of course, Lincoln Heights is not the only problem. I just did a video a few years ago from Compton, and Compton loves their urban boondockers too. Yo, tubers, we're cruising Compton, and Compton is RV friendly. We've got a lot of RV boondockers here, so heads up, boondockers. Compton loves RVers. I'm gonna show you. But how ironic that if you were to try urban camping in Bel Air, Brentwood, or Beverly Hills, you'd be asked to leave pretty darn quick. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. So really, the citizens and those who are elected who live in these communities, they basically get the kind of crap that they deserve. If you're not interested in policing your own community, well, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get these miscreants breaking into the shipping containers on the trains, in the warehouses, even in your RV if you happen to be camped there. God forbid if I parked this RV with British Columbia license plates on the streets right there in Lincoln Heights. I don't know how many minutes it would be before I'd be broken into the moment I left. Hey, and this isn't a disrespect to Lincoln Heights. Lincoln Heights has some decent people living there, I'm guaranteed. Look, Angelinos, I think you deserve better, and I think you can do better. So, you got my vote and support. Hey, next time you guys see me in LA and you need me to volunteer for a few hours to pick up trash, private message me. I'll come and volunteer to do that. I'll put my money where my mouth is. But in the meantime, you need to do better with this. So put your comments down below, and I'll talk to you soon. Over and out.
Towards the end of last year, more than 90 containers were vandalized every day.
I got you.